Hey over there, Joe Lunchbox.
Enjoy Nightingale.
And today we have landed right here in Comac, Long Island. Now, you might be looking over our shoulders and going, Home Depot, you taking us shopping, you doing home repairs? Nothing like that. Today we're going to talk about stuff haunted. Actually, I would say probably the biggest haunted legend on Long Island. It's not actually here, but I figured this Home Depot is a good spot to start. Now, you might say, Home Depot haunted, how does that tie in together? Well, let me show you. So right there, Home Depot. We have a parking lot of Home Depot. And in the middle of this parking lot, we actually have an old cemetery. There's a lot of things you usually see in Home Depot's parking lots. Sadly closed models, stuff like that. But not usually a cemetery. There's not that many graves here, and they definitely have been here for a while. It's hard to make out any dates on here. It looks like an 1850 something. I don't know if that's the death date or birth date. Also, when I see that we have around 8 tombstones over here, another 2 over here, but the rest of the plot doesn't really have any. I don't know if it did have tombstones, but over the years, because you can see they're not in the best condition, that they might have disappeared. So the question is, do you think this Home Depot is haunted with the cemetery in the parking lot? Well, we're not going to stay around to find out to see if it's haunted, but we are going to get in our car, drive a few times over to the town of Ronkonkoma, because in Ronkonkoma is Lake Ronkonkoma, and that is definitely known as being haunted. And you might be wondering, what's the legend? It's the Lady of the Lake, and we'll tell you more when we get over there, so step right up. Let's go for this ride. So we traveled a little bit and we made our way to Ronkonkoma. Behind us is Lake Ronkonkoma. Now, when we talk about haunted spots, Lake Ronkonkoma is considered one of the most haunted spots on all of Long Island. There's one other haunted spot we're going to cover another day, but we're here to talk about Ronkonkoma. All right, so Lake Ronkonkoma was once the home of 4 Indian tribes. Now, the word for Ronkonkoma comes from a word called Ronkonkomak, which translates according to Algonquins as boundary fishing place. Now that's because this lake was once home to 4 Indian tribes, and they each had their own little quadrant of the lake which they would use for fishing and hunting. Now one of those tribes is where the story of Lady of the Lake comes from. So one of the 4 tribes was the Setauket tribe, and you see the princess of that tribe was Princess Tuscawanta, and she fell in love from far with a man named Hugh Birdsall. You see, Hugh Birdsall was a woodcutter, this tall, blonde, bearded man, and he wasn't a Native American, he was just a settler here, and her father, the chief, forbid her from seeing him, and it was this unrequested love, and every day she would write notes and send them out to the water, hoping that he would get the notes on the other side of the lake, this man. And it never happened. 7 years she wrote these notes. After 7 years, she paddled out to the middle of the lake and stabbed herself through her heart. And they say because that every year from that point, her voice calls out and she drowns a man here every year looking for her own true love. So the legend of the Indian princess actually took place in the 1600s. Now the one thing is, they don't know if this is real or not. There is no official record of Princess Tuscawanta, but there is a record of the man that she supposedly loved, Hugh Birdsall. He was here for a while. He did go back to England and get married. So we know he is a true person. But the records of the drownings since the 1800s to the 1970s, there was 160 people that drowned in this lake, and only 3 of them were women, which sort of plays into this haunted myth of her trying to find her true love, drowning them in this lake. So there's actually a poem about Princess Tuscawanta called Maiden in the Lake. A legend tells the story of a pretty Indian maiden who loved a handsome pale-faced lad, but marriage was forbade. Her father chose another mate, a fine strong Indian brave. The Indian girl could not comply, and so her life she gave. Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma, the lake of sparkling water. Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma, where rests the Indian daughter. In summertime, the Indian girl would call out from the lake. To lure below a pale-faced lad, she vowed she would take. And so the legends end of Indian maid with lovely wail, who lingers in the murky depths but calls in no avail. Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma, the lake of sparkling water. Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma, where rests the Indian daughter. Hey guys, do you know the story of the Indian princess? I figure we came to Lake Ronkonkoma. We should touch the water at least. So I'm okay, didn't pull me in, didn't drown me. I guess I'm not pale-faced enough. I thought I had a good enough beard though. Are you guys coming to take me into the water for the Indian princess? Yeah, maybe. Because guys, I was told a lot of people don't know where this legend came from. They don't know if when settlers came, Native Americans just didn't want settlers to come here. I know, and they might have told it to scare them off. Or was it just made up to prevent people from swimming in here because so many people were drowning? We really don't know where the legend came from. What we do know is that the town of Ronkonkoma has embraced this legend. I know, yeah, they have. And because of that, we're going to drive around and show you some sights based off this legend of the Lady of the Lake. And we have a portrayal of the Native American princess of the lake. You see the feather becoming one with the fish, leading to this bookstore, used paperback books, the Book House. And we see the legend of the Princess of the Lake. So this is one of the first pieces of art that we've come to portraying this legend of Lake Ronkonkoma. We've driven a few blocks away to 408 Rosevale Avenue to One Stop Deli, where there is another mural of Princess Tuscawanta, the Native American that gave her life over unrequited love at Lake Ronkonkoma. I do love how the town is embracing this story, this myth, this folklore, and that you can drive around and find images representing her throughout this whole town. This one is nice. You have the blue representing the lake behind her. You can see the shore in the top and the shore on the bottom. Moon over her, looking straight out at us. It looks like she is with her eyes trying to seduce her next true love to come out into the lake and swim and drown. We made our way to the east side of Lake Ronkonkoma. We're on the corner of Portions and Lakeshore. We actually have a little plaque talking about this legend. So on the plaque of the Lake of Haunting Mystery, there is some interesting facts that we haven't went over yet. Like, though there is no proof of the existence of Princess Ronkonkoma, the legend lives on, but there is much more to the lake than its legend. The history dates back to 1655, when the Setauket tribe bartered the Lake Ronkonkoma shoreline in exchange for the white man's valuables. Ronkonkoma has many colorful translations, those we went over, but it just talks about how then Ronkonkoma got built up. The thing that I'm very intrigued about also about this is an Eagle Scouts Boy Scout project. A kid named George, this was his Eagle Scout project in 2006. So at this site, may it bring peace and serenity to those who take the time to enjoy the beauty of the wonderful piece of history called Lake Ronkonkoma. The next mural we come to, we were more on the northeast side of the lake. There is a 7-Eleven as a reference point on Lakeshore. We walked across the street, down a little. You can't even see this from the road. There's a big fallen tree. We came down this path of stairs, trying to get a good shot of her, but I also don't have that much room to back up to get it. Joy's getting brave going near the water. She's like, I don't have to worry, I'm a girl. She ain't gonna take me to be her. I don't know, you're pretty hot. She might go that way this time. The last mural that we are finding today. I like this mural because she's actually looking out over Lake Ronkonkoma. It is a really sad story. Imagine falling in love, your father not letting you be with the man you love, and you sending letters, just floating them out into the water, hoping that he gets them. Every day for 7 years. Never hear from this man again that you fell in love with. And you can't take it, and you just paddle out. She stabs herself through her own heart. It's a sad story. All she wanted to do is find her true love. And that's what the legend is. That's what the ghost story is, that she still is looking for that true love. By drowning them in the middle of the water, but I mean, you get the point. It's sad, it's scary, it's romantic. The sad thing is that 160 people from 1800s to like the 1970s did drown here. Those facts that make the legend seem even more true. And if you're looking for exactly where that mural was, we literally just went to the left of that fallen log, or that fallen tree, and there are some steep stairs to get you down to that mural. But right across the street is this awesome spot. This is the studio of sculptor Todd Arnett. And we're actually going to show you, he carved a representation of the Lady of the Lake. And we're going to drive there now, but we wanted to take a second to show you some of these other cool sculptures. Like this one reminds me of like a Mayan warrior with the headdress. Giraffes. It looks like a new giraffe is the biggest process happening right now. Another sculpture, it looks like a beautiful mermaid carved into that one. I have to say, this giraffe though, he has the best view of Lake Ronkonkoma. Big old tree. Looks like many people have carved their names and loves into this tree. Sad thing, in right across the way, the woman couldn't find her love, and all these people declaring their loves, carving on the tree. And the last spot we come to along this busy road, the sign, Legends and Lore, the Indian princess of Lake Ronkonkoma. Legend says she claims one male each year by drowning to be with her at the bottom of the lake as she seeks her true love. But we didn't just come here to see the sign. You see there's a local artist named Todd Arnett. And he took this 32-foot tall, centuries-old copper beech tree to carve a statue of Princess Tuscawanta. This is very interesting. This tree was brought to America in 1820, actually, for the bicentennial of the Pilgrim's Landing at Plymouth Rock. I think it's funny that the tree itself has history. I do like her holding the bird. I think it's funny, as we were telling the legend, that those two Canadian geese came and were talking to us. And here she's portrayed holding the bird. Like, was those geese really the legend? Is it true? And I do think it's funny. I knew I was coming out to film her today, and all last night I kept having dreams I was dying. And that's weird coincidences to me. And if you're looking for this statue, it's at 279 Lakeshore Road, here at this florist, Horseshoe Cottage. Right over there. So there you have it. The legend of the Lady of the Lake, here in Lake Ronkonkoma. Folklores always fascinate me, and this is one of the biggest folklores we have here on Long Island.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to share it with you, and I hope you liked it. If you did, you could always let us know by liking the video, commenting down below. Tell us about folklores in your local areas, because we do plan to travel all around this country. We'd love to document all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we wouldn't mind if you subscribe to our channel. We actually would like it.
Yes, we would.
But I think we could call it right now.
I think so.
Lady of the Lake here on Lake Ronkonkoma. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels
Good eats.
and live life.